One of the main uses of Google Classroom is the ability to create assignments where you make a copy of a document for each student in your class. Now this document can be anything that you want it to be, from a blank document that you simply want to share so that it's an easy way to share documents with your students, to a template of some sort that you want them to fill out, or anything that you can think of. This is an example of a make a copy for each student assignment. And so basically what I've done is I went and I found a video for my students to walk on creating a newspaper in Google Docs, and then I added a template for a newspaper, and I added it as a make a copy for each student type of a document. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to take a look at this from the student side. I'm going to go over here to my student side, and this is one of the students that I have in my class. So for the student, he can click to open the assignment, and then when he opens the assignment, you'll notice that the document now, instead of just being called Template 1, which was the original name, it's now called Template 1, and then it has the student's name on it. So as the student, I can click on this document, open up the document, do all of my work in here, and then I'll be ready to go. Once everything's completed in here from the student side, there's a button over here on the top of the document, which is the Turn In button. And when the student clicks on the Turn In button, then that document is submitted back to the teacher. So this makes a convenient way for students to get a copy of the document and then share it back with the teacher or turn it in, so that the teacher then has access to all of the documents that the students are working on. Also, if I want to, I can turn it in from the main page over here as the student. So if I'm not in the document and I just want to turn it in, there's also a Turn It In button if I open up the assignment as a student. One other thing, because I haven't talked about the student side very much, is students have the ability to add additional documents to an assignment. So if they're working on something and you want them to create something of their own, they can create their own document and then add it to an assignment. Or they can create a document right from here. So if they want to create a Google Doc and start something for this assignment, they can do it right from this location. So students then have the ability to add things to assignments and then turn those assignments into you so that you get access to those documents from the students. I'm going to turn this in as the student, and then I'm going to go back to the teacher side real quick just to look at what it looks like after everything's been turned in. When I go back to the teacher side, then I'll notice that now one of these documents is done and 3 of the documents are not done for my students who haven't gone and looked at it. I can go in here at any time and I can look at the documents for my students. The other thing to notice is that once my students open up the documents, I can access any of the documents at any time. So if my students are working in class, Classroom gives me a nice easy way to look at the different documents that my students are working on. So I can click on any of the documents that have already been opened, and then it'll open up and I can view that document. So hopefully this gave you some ideas of what you might be able to do with a make a copy for each student type of assignment, and give you a little bit of an idea of the workflow for those assignments between teacher and student.